Oh, hello people in YouTube land. I've not done a live video for a while. Today I'm getting ready to take some things to the farm. So whilst I'm doing this, you can ask me questions if you feel like it. I just need to advertise that I'm going live as well. Otherwise I'll end up talking to myself. We can see that the consumption is about 7 kilowatt hours in the house, which means I've got too many miners in the house, so I need to take them to the farm. Hopefully the video quality is okay. I need to check that as well. Oh, that quality is not that great. Let's have a look, see what I can do. I'm just going to swap to a different internet connection. I'm testing from the Wi-Fi connection, improved. I don't think there's any difference. Hello to the 3 people who are there. So I've got a few 2-meter cables. I'll just move these out of the way. These cables are 1.31 millimeters squared. or 16 gauge, so these are suitable for 13 amps. And in this box I've got some Wi-Fi switches made by Sonoff. I think there's 36 in this box. I might as well do the installation from home rather than doing them on site, because this will take a long time and I don't have much time at the farm. I'll be installing, repositioning, troubleshooting, so if I can take one task away from it, then that'll be good. Hello John M and hello Seacon Intel. Where is my mining farm and what country? All I'm going to say, it's somewhere in Europe, but I don't want to say the exact location, if that's okay. Right, so I need to put these cables onto this power supply with this in the way. That way I can switch off the power supplies on and off without travelling to the farm. I didn't want it to cut this, but it looks like I'm going to have to. What I'm going to do instead is stick a screwdriver in on the inside, and then I can slide this out so I can reuse it. The way that this works, it only works one way, but if you move this tab downwards or just push anything towards it, it widens the gap so you can slide it out and reuse it. I got these cables really cheap. I think there might have been £1 a cable, and the heavy duty cables as well. Thanks for the thumbs up, whoever left a thumbs up. I've got a couple of cables with my last F1 that I got. Got no clue why they sent me 2 extra cables. They shouldn't go faulty. Maybe they made a mistake. So I've got 5 of these APW3++ power supplies, and I've got 3 APW8 power supplies with the T15s. Those will only require a short cable length before the switch. I don't have any proper wire strippers, so I'm going to use these pliers or these snips. Say about there. I'm not going to cut all the way through because I want the I want the earth to be still connected, because there's no earth connection on this Wi-Fi switch. You also get 4 screws there to screw these clamps on. Thanks for the second thumbs up. So the 2 people who are watching, the 3 people who are watching, or there was 3, now there's back to 2. Are you mining, and what are you mining with? I think I've got some better snips, I'll be back soon. Okay, so that's now broke away. Just need to do this little bit at the bottom and then eat this away until I've got a big enough gap. Have I tried Avalon Miners by Can? No, I haven't yet, because they have like a stupid minimum order quantity of 100 miners, and I can't afford 100 miners in one go. There are some people who will do group buys, but if you're after a really good miner, the Black Miner F1, they've just released a new firmware, and they fixed one of the bit streams, and there'll be a new firmware coming out, a new bit stream coming out this month. I'll get to you a promo code so you can save $100 on your next purchase, or you can either have the F1 hosted at their location, and the $100 will give you 69 days worth of free electricity. After that, the electricity is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, so it'll cost you $1.44 a day. Or you could have the miner posted to you after that trial period if you wanted to. Well, it's not really a trial period. the free period of 69 days. I'll just copy this text into the chat. I need to delete 79 characters. There we go. I'll split it up into two messages. So the F1 is a FPGA, and ASICs start off as FPGAs, but the problem with ASICs is that after maybe about 3 to 6 months, as the difficulty increases, your profitability gets less and less because there's just too many people competing for the reward. But with an FPGA, you just upload a new bit stream, and uploading a new bit stream is like having a new ASIC, but without actually paying for it. And at the moment, it's more cost effective to get the Blackminer F1. It's $2,500, and if you look at the other ones at the top of the list on ASICminervalue.com, those range between $5,000 to $20,000, and it's worthwhile getting this because with ASICs, after a few months, the earnings that you see on the websites is not what you're going to get later on. But with the FPGA, as soon as a new bitstream comes out, you just get like a boost of income. They've got plans to release more bitstreams later on in the future, so it's not like Baikal, which will say, right, we'll give you like 8 different bitstreams. Well, it's not bitstream, they don't call it that, but it's the same thing, and then that's it. They'll release another model. Thanks for the info. Do you use solar electricity at the farm? No, I don't. The farm is run by somebody else. I just host my machines there. I have unattended access. It's an unmanned place, and I can just turn up whenever I feel like it. But I do have solar in my house, which is probably going to show nothing. So I've had 1.3 kilowatt hours today. It is January in England, which is not really going to have much sun. So all that's been generated has been consumed by the ASICs, which is close to 7 kilowatt hours. I'm going to take these ASICs to the farm. But the other good thing with mining at home is I've only had to pay maybe 5 or 6 hours worth of gas central heating this year. Well, including last year. That's when it was really cold. But when I take these machines when I take these machines to the farm, I've got to either order some more machines to keep the house warm or start using the heating. Right, that might not be long enough. Just need to make that a bit longer. Right, hopefully that's long enough now. I think it is. So what I want to do now is cut this in the middle, but not the yellow and green earth. You can see that these cores are quite heavy duty, they're quite thick, so it shouldn't overheat. Don't think these snips are good at cutting cables. I do have some wire strippers, but it's just easier to do these using these snips instead. So John, what miners do you have then? I don't think I'm going to buy any more Bitmain ones. I keep saying that, but then Bitmain gives me some more coupons. Right, so to attach this, the input needs to be this side and the output is towards the power supply. If you don't connect it right, it means that the circuit won't be live, but the neutral will still go through. You need to make sure you tighten that properly, because if you don't, you might lead to some arcing, which is a fire risk. You're just started looking for a good miner. Have you used Black Miner F1, and what coins are best to mine? I have 3 Black Miner F1s, and the way that the Black Miner F1 works is there are some public coins and there are some private bit streams, and the private bit streams are on a need to know basis. It's just basically to stop other people finding out, and the more people that know about it, the less the income is. And I know that you need to know what coins they are before you buy. But if we have a look at this website, which I probably won't have access to on this machine, I'm just going to run down to the other machine to get the URL. Just 1 second. I almost got the URL correct, so I'll just type it in. That's the F1 calculator. The earnings are a bit low today, but they have been higher. They were about $8 a day, but we're going to get a new private bitstream soon, so that's the value again. I've decided to have the F1s delivered to me because my electricity is cheaper than 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Andreas Christia. It's not $8 a day today, but it was a couple of days ago. It's around $5 a day today. But like I said, when a new bitstream comes out, it could be anywhere between $15 to $20 a day, or it could be $50 per day on the first day of the release. It just depends on how many people jump on it, and that's why it needs to remain private. But anyone who has purchased it, you'll get an email to tell you about the new bitstream, and I've done videos on YouTube which show you how to upload new firmware and bitstream. It's just easy. Sometimes you have to delete the old files to make room for the new bitstream because of limited memory. Bitstream files about 8 meg, but it's worthwhile doing rather than just keep buying new ASICs every 3 to 6 months. Right, so I've got brown onto line, blue onto neutral, and the same on the output side. The earth, it just loops through like that. So in theory, I just plug this in, connect the power, and it should be off until I press this button. There we go. The plug wasn't in properly, and then I can just switch that off. But that's not going to demonstrate anything because these power supplies run without power. So I will get another power supply for testing. Not this one because it's got one of them connections on it and it needs to have the green and black shorted out, so that's not going to help me either. Right, so I'm going to use this power supply. So that's in the off state. That turns it on. And that's turned it off. Bitmain is not dead. That's what I read on the internet. There's too many rumours about Bitmain being dead. The problem with many companies that grow too bigly, why did I say bigly? I'm pretending to be Donald Trump then. when a company grows too big, it has a lot of overheads, and then when the market goes down, or when they're not selling enough, they've got this big monster that they need to keep feeding, and if they haven't got money keep pumping in, obviously they're going to lay staff off because they can't afford to pay them. But that doesn't mean that Bitmain is dead. It just means they have to slow down. I'm just using the app off camera, and I'm not going to show the phone because it's got my SSID on there. But I've just went onto it and then I pressed configure, and then hopefully that somehow tells this device that it needs to connect to my house Wi-Fi. I'm not sure how it does that because I'm not physically connecting to this. It just works like magic when it does work. Hopefully it's going to work. It takes almost forever for it to configure itself. When it doesn't work, it says configure failed. Okay, so I need to I am reading the instructions because I forgot how to do this and it took me a long time to do it before. How many miners do I have running at the farm? Too many. I don't know. I've got, let's get a calculator up. I've got 14 D3s, 5 L3s, S9. I've sold the A3. I've got a B3, S11. That's the inner silicon S11. D9. 2 Z1s. 4 M3s. I've got 3 F1s which I'm going to take to the farm, and 3 T15s that I'm going to take to the farm. I'm sure I've got more than that because that adds up to 35 so far. And I've also got a GPU rig there. You can buy the Black Miner with 1 hash board for half the price. Have they updated the website? Because there's a new Black Miner that's coming out. I'm not supposed to say anything about it, but people kind of already know. Let's have a look. If you're going to go for the Black Miner with 1 hash board, you've got to check to see if it comes with everything in there, including the control board and the case. They don't sell power supplies. But you can use any power supply that you've got. Right, so let's have a look at mine. Is for some reason my internet's a bit slow, which is a different internet connection to that I'm streaming it on. Yes, okay, so they have updated it. They've got a single card. Oh, okay, so it is inside the case, so that's good. Yep, you can use that, and then you can get a $100 coupon on your next purchase, or you can use it towards electricity with buy code. Let me see if I can find that code again. That should have said use. But do you really want to buy a machine with one hash board? Maybe if it suits your budget, but you got to think about the space it takes up. Also, it's not really half the price. It's a little bit more than half the price, isn't it? Yeah. If it was half the price, it'll be $12.50. I'm just going to check to see if the coupon's still working up there. If I can remember my password. Wrong password. I'm just going to log into the other machine. Yeah, almost half. Right, I'm back. So if you use the invitation code on the single unit, you don't get $100 coupon, you get a $50 coupon. Because it is half the unit, they give you half the coupons. as Bitcoin profit falls, it must affect your profits. It depends on how you look at this. Some people mine the coin and hope that the coin will go up in value. Some people will mine the coin, convert to Bitcoin, then convert dollars or whatever fiat they use, and then cash out. Yes, it does affect the profits, but I haven't cashed out yet. I've been reinvesting. I've had to double my machines from 20 to 40. In fact, I've not got 35 machines. I've just remembered I've got some Z9 minis, 4 of them. So I've got about 39 machines, I think. I think I've got that many machines. But I'll have to visit the farm and count them. Specs about the new Black Miner. Yeah, I've been told not to say anything. So I'm not going to tell you that there's 3 hash boards in there. So I haven't told you that. And you can kind of guess what the price is going to be. But I don't know when that's going to get announced. I thought it would be Monday. But we'll see. But it wouldn't really matter which one you bought because the prices would be very similar if you bought the single, double or the new one, which I'm not telling you is triple. Right, so I'm supposed to put this into pair mode by pressing this button 3 times, holding it for 3 seconds until it blinks faster, like that. And then I'm going to try and configure that on the app. So that's what the configure screen looks like. I've just got to wait for that to go round, and it somehow is able to talk to this without losing its Wi-Fi connection. I think what it's doing is this is already gone to the server and says there's a new device that's trying to connect. Here are the credentials, which will push to every single Sonoff which is currently in pairing mode like this, and then it will try to connect, and then it will send a message back saying it's connected. That's the only way I can think that this would work, because this doesn't physically connect to that, and that doesn't connect to this. That says connection failed, so I'll try again. It took me forever doing it last time, and I still don't understand how it's working. And if I'm trying to do this at a data center, I've got no chance in completing all the tasks. The reason why it's a 50-hour trip is because that's how long it takes me to get to the airport. I've got to fly across with 2 big suitcases, so I'll be carrying 50 kilos, including a rucksack. Coming back to the UK, loading up the suitcases again, and then travelling out again. I've still got to pack the suitcases and make sure everything's going to fit. So that's 2 return flights in 2 days. Will you be buying any new machines? Well, I don't have any crypto at the moment, and I only buy machines with crypto now. At the start, I did buy converting the currency to pounds, to dollars. So what I need to do now is build up my crypto portfolio, or Bitcoin basically. I think I've got about $300 worth, which is nothing. And that's only because I've recently purchased another F1, Black Miner F1. And if I'm going to buy another miner, I don't really want to buy any more ASICs, because after you've been doing this for a year, you get to see that the value, you can ignore the resale value. You're not going to sell it for the price that you want to sell it for. And the way that I see it is you've got to think about replacing the machine after 3 to 6 months. You can get away with it at 6 months if you've got other machines on the way. Um, but if you want to stay ahead of the game, you got to think about replacing the machine every 3 months, which is a pain, and I don't want to keep doing that. So that's why I'm looking at FPGAs. There are some GPU style FPGAs, but they're difficult to program. The F1 is just like an ASIC. The only difference is you've got to log on through SSH, delete a couple of files, put the new files in, upload the firmware, and then after you configure the pool, it's done. It's it's very easy. The other FPGAs, which are the GPU ones, you need a rig, like a computer rig, and the farm that I'm at doesn't really handle the airflow properly for any computers. You've got to add in your own fans. But with the ASICs, they can force out a lot of air into the hot aisle. Selling the machines, I've tried selling them. You get lots of time wasters on eBay. Um, it's hard to sell, and me trying to sell my D3s now, I'm not gonna. It's not even worth my effort in trying to sell them because you can get it cheaper on the Bitmain website. And 18.3 gigahertz 17 one, people are still gonna buy that one rather than buy from me. Buy the new Black Miner and make a YouTube video. Well, I've got the current Black Miner. The next one, which is probably going to be called the Black Miner F1 Plus. I don't really see it any beneficial for me just to buy that machine to make a video. My next machine would probably be the F1 Plus when I've got enough crypto. But I've already got 3 machines. It's not really any beneficial. There's nothing going to be different other than the extra hash board and the obviously extra power consumption. So the power consumption will be probably maximum 630, not 600, 930 watts. But it's just like the normal F1, but with an extra card. Um, the next model up, which people are calling the F2, there's no plans for that at the moment. They're focusing on Bitstreams. Whilst the F1 is still profitable, it's a bit silly trying to release a new model, and if it's going to be called the F2, there's no confirmation that it will be called that. It would be pointless in releasing a new model to make the old model obsolete. So the developers, they're focusing on new Bitstream, which will increase the life of the miner, rather than you trying to think about replacing it after 3 or 6 months. Have you got Sonoff on the miners, on all miners? Currently, I've got it on 3 miners, not 5 miners at the farm, and I've ordered another 36, which I've got on this desk here. Um, with the Sonoff, you can get RF ones. You can get one with a 2G SIM card if your area still has 2G, and this is the Wi-Fi version. This one works better at the data center because you can just cut a cable and stick it in like that. You can get one for which has the plug for your own country, so Australian, UK, Europe, American. You can get those type ones. You can get one which has 4 circuits, one which has common like lines. So you got one input coming in, and then you can switch 4 different outputs. Those will not be suitable for mining because it'll be sharing the load. You can get some which have 4 independent power, which would be suitable, but these were a lot cheaper. These about £3, $4 on eBay. If you look for them, but if you sort them by price, you can find them for that price. Normally they're about $10. So that's why I got a load of them. You can get some which are double capacity or heavier duty, which is rated at 16 amps. But for mining, if you find with these, I think these are 10 amp ones. Yeah, these are 10 amp ones. Unless if you got like the GMO miner where you need to consider getting a heavy duty one, then that's the only time you go for the 16 amp version. and I do some thermostat ones which I don't really know much about. But for the farm, I'm only getting these ones. They're cheap, they're easy to wire up, just a bit of a pain to configure. But once they configure, they should still work. So I'm going to try this one more time. It's holding it for 7 seconds. And then press configure on that. So the idea is to install these all on all of the miners that I have. For the GPU rig, I've got a TP-Link HS110, which has the energy monitor built in. So I can see if the rig is on and if it's actually mining. If it's around 200 to 400 watts, then the rig is definitely not mining, it's crashed. So I can power cycle the rig. That one's rated at 13 amps, but you wouldn't want to take that anywhere near 10 to 11 amps because it gets a bit warm. Is that this phone which is beeping away? Let's have a look. Yeah. Configuration failed again. Right, let me read these instructions one more time. Am I in the right app? And that's what I need to check. I don't think I'm in the right app. I was in the wrong app. I'm so silly. Right, I need to know the password for this. Okay, so that's what the app looks like. And you can press these buttons, which I'm not going to press. I should really name them so I know what's what. Let's see if I can add this. Okay, so that's now in pairing mode. It's going to take about 3 minutes to pair. You're interested in the new Black Miner. Do you know when it was officially released? At the moment, there's rumours it's going to be Monday. That's all we've been told, and that might have the name of the F1 Plus. The F2 does not exist, and there's no plans to release the F2 at this moment in time. You could wait until Monday to see if it's going to be released, or you could just buy the F1 as it is now. I wouldn't say to buy the F1 single unless if you can't afford the normal F1. As I'm not Black Miner or Hash Altcoin, I can't tell you the actual release date because I can only tell you what they've told us. Or that's blinking differently now, so I don't know if the app is still trying to do it or what's happening. I'm not sure. Just another 1.5 minutes to wait. Okay, let's try this again. I'm sure that did something strange with the flashy lights, and in fact we've got the next screen on there now. So what am I going to call this? I'm going to call this 206. The problem with this app is if I want to edit this later, this text that's already in there will be gone. So if I call that 206, because that'll be the next one. And then I scroll down to 206. It's currently in the off state. And now it's on. So obviously I'm on the local network. This will also work through the internet as well. And that's to turn it off. There's a slight delay because this has a capacitor in there, and we can see that is actually working because that's the others. When I was in here it said something about firmware upgrade, so I'll do that now. I've got to figure out how to do this. Yeah, just download the firmware like that. Okay, so that's doing its firmware upgrade. And there's a question that's come in. Can you mine Bitcoin with Bitstream on Black Miner? No. You probably could, but there are better machines out there. You've got the 7nm chips, which will just shit on the Black Miner. It can't compete with that. And it can't also do any memory intensive algorithms, so it can't do Ethereum. The idea is there are other bit streams that you can mine, and the way that I'm doing it is I'm converting it to Bitcoin as soon as I get it cashed out, or get it cashed out from the pool to the exchange or the wallet. That's probably the best way to go. Unless if you believe in that coin to increase in value, then later on in life, then that will be a lot. So that's now upgraded. I should have started cutting the cable. So there's one more thing I need to do on that device, and I can't remember which side I've been writing on, but I'll write 206 on here. I need to find an easier way to cut these cables with the tools that I've currently got. Do you have a preferred pool? It depends on what algorithm you're talking about. So if you tell me what coin, then I can tell you what I prefer. But looking at preferred pools, what you want to do is find out which pool has the highest hash rate. Now, with the highest hash rate, might mean you'll get paid the lowest amount on that pool, but it will mean you'll get paid out more frequently. So if you think about it on the extreme scale, if you join a pool with only 2 workers on it, it might take a very long time for those workers to find the next block. But if you mine on a pool which has lots of workers on it, there's a smaller share that you'll get, but you'll get paid out frequently. With the smaller pool, there might be a chance that you'll never get paid, or you'll get paid, or the payment will come after you've left that pool. So when looking for pool, you want to try and aim for the one with the highest hash rate. Another consideration might be the location of the pool. But the internet's the internet, so it's only a couple of milliseconds difference, unless if you're having major problems with pinging that pool. That's the only other reason why you wouldn't consider the one which is at the top of the list. When you do have pools set up, you want to have 3 separate pools if possible. Not just 3 URLs to the same pool, because if that pool goes down, then you're not mining anything. So I'm only going to be able to wire up 20 of these. I'm not going to be able to wire all of them because I've already taken some cables already farm. And I don't think I'll have time to wire the others over there, but I could try. How long have I been mining? July 2017 is when I got the first GPU, or the first PC. I've ordered a Dell PC from eBay, which had a graphics card in there, and I was thinking about modifying it to add more graphics cards in there, and it was a bit restricted, and I just thought, nah, take that back and then build my own. And what I did was I used a case from a really old computer, which I built in I can't remember what year, but it cost me about £2,000 to build that computer, and I've not used it for a long time. I tried powering it up and it was all seized up. So I bought motherboards, RAM, CPUs and everything, and I was able to squeeze in 8 GPUs on a motherboard that has 6 PCIe slots. I think I've cut these cables a bit too long. I'll have to take some copper off there. I also have a server in the next room that has 5 PCIe slots, but only 2 GPUs on there at the moment. I was going to order some Vega GPUs, but they never turned up. Whilst I was building the GPU, I also ordered some ASICs from Bitmain, and it took about 3 months for them to arrive. So, um, starting off with GPUs was my first thing. Some people have been mining with CPUs many years ago, but then I just thought, yeah, you'll get a higher resale rate for the GPUs, but um, you don't earn as much with the GPUs, and it's too much maintenance. ASICs are usually better. Right, so that's the input side, so I need to connect this way around. And I've lost a screwdriver. I think you said, John, you just started mining. I've made my own PDU as well, which was from a power conditioner. I could, in theory, put these inside a power conditioner case or my PDU that I made. It would make this a lot nicer, but that means I have to make the modifications at the data center, and I'm usually just there and back on the same day. Am I reconnected? I don't know what happened then. It said reconnecting on there. Okay, so that's flashing away. That should turn it on, and then that's off again. Now to see if I can pair this up first for time. Great info, really help. Thanks, bye for now. Bye. Make sure you buy an F1 with my code if you do buy one. Off camera, I'm just putting these clamps on. got a solid light on there, which means it has worked this time. So I must be getting better at this. And in fact, it's waiting for me to name it. So that one is 207. We can see that 206 has gone offline because I've disconnected it. Just going to upgrade the firmware. It's only different by one, which is a lot better than the first batch that I ordered. They were well old, and that's why it took a long time for it to pair to the network. These ones are a lot easier. I think I'll put some music on. Yeah, don't like that one. Night box should have been here. Right, so I'm ready for the next one, I think. Hello to the people who've just joined. Hello Steve Bells. Why don't you use mining? What? Why do you use my mining farm? They charge you maintenance. Okay, so the mining farm that I'm at is $8, 8 cents per kilowatt hour, and that includes the electricity, the internet. There's no maintenance. The maintenance is by myself, which means I have to fly to the farm, and to avoid costly reboots, which would involve a flight, I'm currently programming these Sonoff devices and wiring them up. So basically these are like an on-off switch which works over the Wi-Fi, and then in theory it works over the internet. You use an app which I'll load up now. So we've got 5 already at the farm. I've got 2 are switched off, which I've already wired up and configured, and I'm going to have the rest of them all wired up, or most of them. So maintenance, I've got remote access, but sometimes when machines stop working you need to power cycle them, and that's where these switches come in place. The other issue is if I overload a circuit, then there's obviously no on off because that's beyond these cables. So I need to ensure that I don't do that. I could either fly out and do it myself, or I'll get charged for them to do it. But there's no real other maintenance. I don't ask them to log onto these machines. I might ask them to reboot them. But asking them to log onto these machines and do things is just like trying to teach someone to use something which they've never used before. It's easy to do things yourself. But these being about £3 each is worthwhile getting. Obviously I need to visit the farm to install them. If you're still there, Steve, what's the weather like in Manchester? Cold and windy. It's freezing at the farm, or the country where the farm is. Negative temperatures. How many miners do you have at the farm? Okay, somebody asked me this question before. I think it was John M. And I think I have 39 machines. So that's 14 D3s, 5 L3 Plus, S9, S11 in a silicon, D9. I sold the A3, B3. I've got 4 C9 minis, 3 F1s, 3 T15s, 4 M3s. I think that's 39 in total. Yes, I still have the S9. It's running at 16.6 gigahash per second instead of 13.5 terahash per second. Sorry, 16.6 terahash per second instead of 13.5. You're getting rid of all your S9s and L3 Plus. Yes, I saw your comment. You're getting the S11, S15 and T15. So you're getting 20 new machines then. A combination of all those. I got the T15s because it had a better ROI at the time of buying, which I just couldn't work out why. Obviously you get a better hash rate on the S15 and better energy efficiency, but it was just the way that it was priced. And by the time I was thinking about it, the S15s got sold out. So you don't already have your new machines then, or are they still on order? I'm assuming you didn't order on the same day. Did you overclock your S9s? Oh, you have 4 machines, okay. Have you considered getting the Blackminer F1s? They've got a new model out which is only got 1 hash board in there. It's $1,300 and I can give you a code which will give you a $50 coupon. Or you can go for the full size one which will give you a $100 coupon. You asked me a few questions about that, so if you want to ask any more questions I can answer them. Yeah, you overclocked the S9, but did you undervolt them? Because that would be kind of important. I've got mine running at 8.8 volts. I can take the S9s off you if you don't want them anymore. I'll take them for free. Yeah, I was buying the power supplies for about £50 each as well. And I got a bit carried away with power supplies. Server power supplies, which I'm going to replace these with the Bitmain ones, and I've got a few other power supplies as well. So I'm taking them to the farm. New ones have power supplies built in. Yep, they run on 20 volts as well. They're completely different. If you look at my last video that I've uploaded, I've dismantled it as well, so you can see what it looks like inside. I didn't dismantle the power supply because power supplies are just like any other power supply. There won't be anything special inside it. Mining is hard at the moment. Well, it depends what you're going to do. If you're trying to use the revenue from the mining to pay off bills and stuff, then yes, that's going to be quite difficult. But the F1, which is an FPGA, that's currently earning about $5 a day. It was about $8 a day a couple of days ago. There's going to be a new bit stream, so that's going to go up again. And it's like every time a new bit stream comes out, you've got a new miner and you haven't paid for it. You just upload a couple of files, and I've done a couple of videos to show you how that's done. And it's just so much better because with a miner, depending on what type it is, the life will be either 3 months to 6 months or completely useless after 12 months. And with the BlackMiner F1, they are bringing out different models, but you're not going to be at a loss. The new one, the latest one that they've released, is half the cost, but then obviously that's half the performance. And I think they're going to release another one probably Monday, which has an extra hash board, but obviously that's going to have an extra cost to it. So you're not going to get any beneficial gains by swapping from the F1 to the F1 Plus. And they're focusing more on Bitstream, so you're not going to have a new hardware which is going to say, oh, your F1's useless now. Who makes the F1? It's Hash Altcoin, is their brand name. Let me just check if I can get the actual company name, because they've got a legal name as well. Just going to look that up now. The legal name is called Black Block, BLACK, but they're known as Hash Altcoin. Yeah, Hash Altcoin is, yeah, you've written that down. You've gone from Outfox the Market. I have gone with... Oh, you've gone with Outfox the Market. Outfox the Market, they're absolutely useless. Because they tried to change the billing system. So you pay more during the winter than you would do in the summer. I think they're really having financial problems because they went really low on prices. Um, they haven't sent me a bill or a statement, so obviously I'm gonna owe them a lot of money, especially when you've got power consumption like that. I'm running at 7 kilowatts per hour using 6 machines. The seventh machine isn't feeling very well. 3 of the machines are venting the hot air outside. The other machines are keeping the heat inside the house. So I'm not really paying for any gas central heating. But obviously, when I take all these machines to the farm, the house is going to be a lot colder. So I'll have to buy some more machines. That's the only way to sort that out because I'm not going to turn the gas on. I think I've used about 6 hours of gas heating since December, and I haven't used it before that, and that's only when it was really cold. There's no heating in this room, and that says it's 19 degrees in this room. So the F1 can do multi-algorithm. Yes, it can. Each algorithm will have its own bit stream, and the way it works is you can only do one algorithm at a time, one bit stream at a time. You can't do 2 or 3 or whatever. You can change the frequency of each chip manually, one at a time, if you wanted to do. But that's probably the only thing that you can do separately. So it will require a reboot for you to change. You just select the new algo from the drop down list, and you just let it go from there. You still have the 3 different pool options, but obviously that's the same algorithm. It would be nice if you could mix and match, but the issue with that is you've got to reboot on each algo switch. It's new to you. It's a lot better than A6. You can get some FPGAs which look like GPUs, which are very difficult to program. With this one, the only difference between the A6 is that you upload bit streams which are already being pre-compiled, so you get that in an email with instructions, or you can use my YouTube videos to find out how to do it. And you just SSH into the miner, which you can do with Bitmain ones as well. And from there, if there's not enough space, you just delete the old ones. What's this one? A bit confused where I was up to. That didn't upgrade its firmware. What am I mining on F1? I'm mining VEO, VEO, or Amuvio. I don't think that's a private bit stream, so I can just say that. Or it was a private bit stream before it was leaked. How much does that make? About $5 a day. It's just a little bit under now. It's $4.85 now. I'll just link in a URL where you can find out some of the algos. But when a new bitstream comes out, the earnings can increase to probably $15 to $20 a day, and in some cases people have had $50 a day, and that was in October. Yeah, I think that one's upgraded the firmware. If VO is SHA-256, can it do Bitcoin? It's a different type of SHA-256. I think the Bitcoin is a double SHA-256. So no, it doesn't do Bitcoin. Not with the current bitstream, but you could. They are planning to allow third party to write bitstream, so in theory you could do, but it's not worthwhile doing because you got like GMO, Inner Silicon, and Bitmain who have 7 nanometer. The F1 is not 7 nanometer, so it would never compete with that. The way it is good is it can do algos before the other ASICs do, because an ASIC is, to make an ASIC you have to create an FPGA, and then from the FPGA you make the ASIC. Whereas this is already an FPGA, you just upload a bitstream and then you're off and away. You can convert VO to Bitcoin, and the exchange that I'm using is Qtrade. I think it's qtrade.io. It's not auto convert, so you have to sell your VO to Bitcoin. Do I have a day job? Yes, I do. I'm a programmer. I program iPads to control TV lights and blinds. You do IT and server upgrades in Kentucky shop. Fitted with touchscreen. I thought you was from Manchester. Is that Manchester in America or Manchester in the UK? But then you mentioned Kentucky. Is that Kentucky in America or Kentucky as in KFC? The KFC. Okay. I just had to ask. Yeah, the touchscreens that I do is a bit different to that. If you think about luxury yachts, offices, villas, that's the type that I do. It's basically a universal remote control on an iPad. You can even use it to call the butler if you wanted to. Fitting a new PC in a hire shop in the morning. Okay. Well, tonight I'm heading off to the airport and I'm going to try and see if I can sneak into the business lounge without paying for it. And I'm also going to try and see if I can do priority security as well without paying for it. I'm also going to try and see if I can get some stuff from the shops for free as well, or at a discount. Shoplifter? No, but it does feel like shoplifting if you get things for free without paying, but definitely not shoplifting. It's like my postbag videos that I'm doing. That was free. So Bluetooth headphones. Bluetooth earphones. So I don't know if I've uploaded these videos or not, but they're coming soon. Even this extension lead. They're all coming for free. The farm. Where is the farm, or is it a big secret, and why? Okay, so it's because of security. It's unmanned. So if I told people where it is and it's unmanned, which means you're advertising people to break in. Um, so being unmanned is its weakness. It does have security, but security never stops anyone. So the best way to not let people break in is by not telling people which country it's in. But all I'm going to say it's in Europe. You have £500 in Amazon vouchers. How do you get Amazon vouchers? Vouchers. you could say the country or town, I would be no wiser. It's not you. It's you think about all these Bitcoin mines which have been robbed. People knew where they were and they got robbed. So you want to try and avoid that situation. Not saying that you'll have those types of people in those countries, but it's not just my equipment that's there. Get an Alsatian, I think that's what that is. I don't like dogs. Also, I said the data center is unmanned, unstaffed, so who's going to look after the dog? Genesis got robbed. I think they might have been, but there's many people that have been robbed. That was a quick update. Quick pairing. I didn't even know what I'm doing. So this one's 209. Also, it wouldn't work because the alarms would keep going off and security will have to keep visiting. It's got underground sensors, so you can't do a Mission Impossible to get there. Technically, you could dangle off a drone, but then that will just get you on the building. It won't get you inside. That's a really old firmware on there. Yeah, dogs are not really that loyal. You just get some meat and then just put some drugs in within meat and then they're loyal to you. I've seen it in the movies, that's what they do. Make the dogs fall asleep. Well, surely they advertise to get business. Um, yes, but they don't advertise Bitcoin mining. They advertise computer service. So it's just basically a data center. What are those gadgets you have to reboot? Do you mean these? These are Wi-Fi switches made by Sonoff. You can turn things on and off through Wi-Fi or through the internet. So that is currently off. Green light means it's connected to the Wi-Fi. So if I press on, oh wait, I can't do it because it's upgraded in the firmware. But I would press that button to switch it on and off, and that is so I don't have to travel to the farm. You can get ones which have a normal plug, like a UK, Europe, or American, or something like that. Um, you can get one which has four in one circuit, or four in one box. Okay, so that's like rebooting, I think. Do you get one to try? What were you talking about? Get what to try? Get one of these, do you mean? The Sonoff Wi-Fi switch? Um, well, you can buy them from eBay for about £3 is the cheapest seller. Right, let's just close this down, try again. I might have to pair this one again because that wasn't happy. I'll send you a link to the one that I got. These ones are $4, which works out £3.11. You can try looking for one which is in pounds, but it will cost a bit more. How does in Wi-Fi abroad? How does it work in Wi-Fi abroad? Well, basically, it's to the local Wi-Fi network. From there, it got access to the internet. So from there, it goes to the cloud. So if we think about it as a cloud, and then this could be on a different Wi-Fi connection, or it could be on mobile network, which will then talk to the cloud again, and that's how it works. It's through the cloud. It can work directly. I don't think it actually works directly through the local network. It would have to have an internet connection to go into the cloud and then come back again to switch this on and off. You can write a protocol which will bypass the cloud and go straight to the Wi-Fi switch, but I've not gone down that route yet. So this is a Wi-Fi model, but it works for the cloud. So an internet connection is required, so that's how that works. Just like Google and Alexa, they work through the cloud. I don't use cloud. Did you create your own cloud? No, I didn't create my own cloud. I'm using their own cloud, which is EWE Link. It's basically, you just set it up on the app. This automatically talks to the cloud. I don't know how it talks to the cloud. How can this go to the cloud if it hasn't been on the Wi-Fi network? And this doesn't connect to that. Unless if it does connect to it, so quickly that I don't see it happening. I just don't get it. Just does it like magic. It must create its own SSID unless you can actually send data to other Wi-Fi network connections without actually logging on to it. Hackers use that. If I had a computer, I could send a deauthentication message to that network, that SSID, and they'll knock off every single device off that network without me actually being connected to it. Because not all data on Wi-Fi is encrypted. The handshaking part isn't, and that's the downside to WPA2. And then what you do, you tell the clients to re-authenticate, but then to an evil computer. So it could be using something similar to that. I'd have to Wireshark and sniff the packets to see how it actually works. You're lost, but we'll get one to try. The one that you need to pick is Sonoff Basic. If you want this style, you can get different models which cost a bit more. It just depends on your farm. If you've got UK plug sockets and you get the UK plug socket ones, I have these IEC connectors at the farm, and you don't have one of those options, so that's why I went for this. Okay, so you can get UK plug ones. You can either go one step up and get the HS110 from TP Link, which has the energy monitor. I think there are some Sonoffs which do also energy monitoring, but I went on the cheap because when you're buying a lot, um, it's not worthwhile spending a lot on extras. So your farm is at your work, and does your work know that you're mining at work? Okay, so 209 is now there. No, it's not done the firmware upgrade, but I'll do this. So I turn it on, and the power supply turns on. So let's try upgrading the firmware again. Right, now to check this firmware, see if it's finally done. Yep, okay, so that one can get disconnected. If you're mining in the UK, you might also want to have a look at seeing if you can get some of these dust filters, because mining in the UK is kind of dirty, unless if you're in a proper farm. Have you burnt out any S9 yet? No, I haven't. I have one L3 Plus, which is not got one of the hash boards showing. Another two L3s which are not working. Maybe two D9s not working. Maybe an M3 not working. There's a few machines that are not working, so I need to investigate what's happened. I'm hoping they're not dead. I'm just hoping it could be the power supply or just needs a reboot. Just don't know until I get there. Or worst case scenario, I'll trip to fuse again. And that's why I've got quite a few machines not online. You use TeamViewer to connect to your farm. Yeah, I use TeamViewer or I use Remote Desktop. I connect to the GPU rig, but I also have something else which recently arrived. If I can find it. It won't be in there. This has arrived in the post. Which is a mini PC with Windows 10. So in theory I could use this if I wanted to, but I'd have to put it somewhere really cold because this doesn't have any cooling on it. How much was this? Technically it was free. Or it will be. I can't find the information at the moment. I think it's about £105. You can get it for £85 off eBay. It depends on the spec that you look for. Yeah, you can use a cheap £50 laptop. You don't need anything special for remote access. If it fits the space and can handle the temperatures, then you're okay. I did try using a Raspberry Pi, but it didn't like the temperatures at the farm. It just kept us stopping. In fact, I don't think it was temperature related because it was stopped working in the house as well. It just wasn't fit for purpose, so I had to return it. Maybe it was the image that I flashed on there. Maybe if I had a more streamlined image, it would have been better. But I wanted something that I could install TeamViewer on it. Yeah, a screen is handy, and there's a screen at the farm, so I don't have to bring my own. But then I can also log in via TeamViewer as well on the phone. You see a lot of miners have switched off their ASICs as difficult has gone down. Yep, a lot of big companies have shut down. Their overheads are just too high in this current market. Places like Gigawatt and a few other places in America. Either because the electricity price has gone up, or they're not earning enough crypto to keep afloat. At the moment, I'm funding this crypto stuff, which I need to stop funding it now. That's why I've set up a new product review, and I get stuff like this sent to me. Yeah, Gigawatt went bust. There's a few more that we don't know about as well, which is good for the smaller people. It should be for the public. Big farms. No big farms allowed. I'm not sure what that means. It's a lot easier now. Maybe because I've got better internet connection than last time. That's some more recent firmware. I think if it's got the older firmware, I had lots of issues with it. For home users only, like it was in 2010. Nothing stays like that. If someone sees some profitability in there, then that's what happens. That's why FPGA is the next big thing now. But you are stuck with Black Miner. You are stuck with Black Miner releasing new firmware. The other ones, I think they are open source, but Black Miner is planning to make it open source, so you can add your own bitstream if you wanted to. Is it worth buying the Black Miner? I would say yes. Should you buy one? Yes. And make sure you use my invitation code. With the invitation code, you could, if you wanted to use that coupon straight away, you could have it hosted for 69 days for free and then have the miner delivered to yourself. The electricity cost is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, so that might be cheaper than what you're paying in the UK. So you may never want to have it shipped to your house or your farm. Can I teach you how to use it? Yes, I'll teach you how to use it if you use my invitation code. I have no issues with doing that, so yeah. But you've used the S9, it's exactly the same. The configuration is identical. They've changed some of the colours, but it's the same thing. If anything doesn't make any sense in my other videos, just let me know and I can explain them as well. Delivery is really quick as well. Just make sure you send them an email to that you want it quickly. The only disadvantage to it is every time I received the F1, there was dust inside and there was scratches on the outside. So that's the only disadvantage, but the machines still work okay. I don't know why anyone else hasn't complained about the dust. I complained about the dust and then they sent me another dusty one. But they did send me 2 brand new cables with my last order, which I never asked for. I don't think this is going to make up for the dust, or I might have made a mistake. I just don't get it. No notes or anything, they just give me 2 extra cables. code didn't work. You the way it works is you get it the $100 coupon after you purchase the miner. It doesn't deduct it straight away, so you'll see the value of 2,500, and then you'll get a coupon on your account. When the coupon is on your account, you can then use it to pay for the electricity, or use the coupon on your next purchase. It's not on this purchase, it's the next one. If that makes any sense to you. It's like with the Bitmain coupons, you have to already buy something before you can use a coupon, or before you get issued with a coupon. Okay, 1932 in BTC. Let's have a look at that. I've just converted in Google $2,500 to pounds, and it says 1,945. So if it says a lower value, then that's better. So you're getting about a £10 discount if you buy right now at this current moment in time. But that just depends on the exchange rates that they use. Is it a safe site? Yes, it's a safe site. If you've gone to the link that I've sent you, or did you Google it? If you use the ones that I've been linking in this chat description, then in this live chat, then yes, it is safe. I've ordered twice. So the first one I've ordered 2 machines, and the second one I ordered 1 machine. That's where I am. I don't know what you mean by that. If you're on the official website, then yeah, it is safe. I'm not aware of any fake sites for Hash Coin because they're not that well known. That's the problem with well known companies. There's lots of fake sites, but they are legit because I've got 3 machines. And I will be buying more as soon as I get more crypto. Okay, you found the link? Okay. Is it better than the S-15? Let me just have a quick look at the ROI for the S-15. So if I set the electricity cost to 10 cents per kilowatt hour on ASICminervalue.com, the S-15 makes 5 cents per day. No, in fact, it loses 5 cents. No, yeah, it makes 5 cents a day. If you compare that to the Black Miner F1, which makes $5 a day, then the Black Miner F1 wins. Also, the F1 has a benefit that when a new bitstream comes out, your profits will be higher than what it is now. You have more choices of different algorithms. But I wouldn't buy a S-15 if it's making 5 cents a day today. It'll be making less later on, and don't like the idea of that. Obviously, if the Bitcoin value goes up, then the the S-15 might win, but you don't know when the value is going to go up. I think this might be the last one I need to do because I've got to pack the suitcase and think about what time I'm going to leave as well. So I didn't get all of them done. Got 6 done, which is rubbish. Just about to pay and it hasn't asked for my address. Have you select hostage, hosting or postage? I think the default one is hosting. So you might want to create a new order. I don't think you can edit it. I think it's on the page before you put your address. I think you need to add an address. I can't remember. I'm just gonna have to log into my other machines to find out where to enter the address. Just 1 second. On the screen where you got the invitation code, just above that you've got the official hosting and delivery in the section of ways of purchasing. So it's that screen that you need to be on where you select the address. If you haven't done that, you can email them and let them know that you want delivery, and then they'll just ask you to make the delivery payment because you need to pay for shipping as well. You only see official hosting but no other option. Just underneath official hosting there's delivery option. You've noticed the delivery, right? Yeah, so that's the delivery that you want to select. When I ordered mine there wasn't a delivery option, so I had to contact them separately, but I was there too early. If you haven't paid, yes, you can start again. It just means you'll have like a pending order which you can cancel later on your account when you log in. Like Bitmain, if you haven't paid for it, then it's not an official order. But make sure you paste in the code again for it to accept the invitation code. This one's been a bit of a pain, which means it's got the old firmware on there, so it's going to take a few attempts before it'll actually work. Okay, I've got a solid light on. No, it's got quite a recent firmware, so I don't know why that one was struggling. Okay, yeah, let me know when it arrives. So did you pay for the delivery as well? I think it's an additional 200 odd dollars, maybe about $220. If you send them an email and ask them to send you the tracking number, that might speed things up a little bit. It's Sunday today, so yeah, they will respond on Monday. So if all goes well, they should dispatch it on the Tuesday. So make sure you send them an email. Okay, yeah, so you did that, right. Um, I can't remember what the email address is. and it'll be dispatched via UPS, which are really quick. When it arrives, the fan will be quite loud. You can reduce the fan speed to about 50% if you needed to, anywhere between 40 and 50%. If the alarm goes off, just increase the fan speed. It has a cut off at 80 degrees Celsius, so there's no way you can burn these out because they'll cut the sound. Well, they'll cut the power to the miner off. Okay. How much does the T15 make? T15 makes 30 cents a day. Is that right? I don't know what was wrong with my calculation before, but the S15 makes 67 cents a day. Don't know where I got 5 cents a day from. I think you'll be happier with the F1. You'll like the fact that you'll get new bit streams. They are private bit streams, so when you get the email, consider that as a private document. Just don't tell other people the name of it. And by keeping it private, it will help the profitability. Because you don't want someone like Bitmain to make shitloads of machines. And when you buy more machines, if you use the same code again, you can get more coupons. Yeah, loose lips chips, but we get some blabbermouths and on the forum who just just blurt out the name of the coin. So I've told Hash Altcoin just to use the word private Bitstream in the email. Hopefully that will make people think it's a secret. So they will help to try keep things secret, but it's other people who just spread the gossip. But obviously you need to know what you're mining as well. You don't want to have something which gives you nothing. This is going to be my last cable, because I need to think about setting up for the airport now after I pack the suitcase. I will be back Tuesday night. So I've got a full day Monday and a full day Tuesday. I don't normally book a hotel on these long trips, but because it's over a day, I'm going to have to book a hotel near Gatwick somewhere. Hopefully there'll be no drones at Gatwick, because Gatwick always has an excuse to shut things down, either snow or drones. To the farm, yes, you can come to the farm, but you won't be able to get inside the farm unless if I fill out lots of paperwork. It'll be a bit boring there anyway, so it's not really worth it. In fact, you could come with me, then I'll only have to pay for one flight. You can take my other suitcases that I need to take for the second lot of flights. I was actually in Manchester over Christmas. Yes, it does have a ESP8266. I'm not going to be able to read that, but let's see if I can. Focus on that. That's the ESP chip, and that's the Wi-Fi antenna. See if that's easier to read. So that's the ESP8266EX. How many amps can it take? It's rated at 10 amps. You can get 16 amp versions, and we can see that there's some separation between the two tracks, and they've added extra solder to handle the extra current load. That does look a bit thin. That's the neutral side as well, so maybe that's alright on the neutral side. So we can see how thick it is, and then again up here. But I would monitor, make sure you're happy with that 10 amps before leaving it unattended. If not, just go for the 16 amp version to be a bit safer. But when you see rated at 10 amps, only use 80% of the capacity, so I would say don't go higher than 8 amps when running 24/7. When you search FPGA, there's two different types. There's the ASIC style, which is the F1, and I think Baikal is also FPGA, but with Baikal, they don't release new bit streams that frequent. They'll say, we're going to give you 10 bit streams, or we're going to give you 10 algos, and that's it. Whereas Hash Altcoin, you can upload a new bit stream yourself. You might have to update the firmware as well, but it's just easy. And then the other FPGAs, the GPU style, they're a bit more difficult. You have to use programmers and configure them, and I've been told it's very difficult. Also, the GPU style FPGAs have an issue with cooling. If you can water cool it, then that's good, but it's a lot of hard work and costs to do water cooling. Yeah, you can search on the F1. You might not find a lot of information than what I've already told you because it's not like well known. Which is kind of good because it means we've got less competition. Yeah, I'm thinking of stop using Bitmain as well. When it came to the S15, S13, I just couldn't see why you'd buy it. So it just depends. With A6, it's just short lived. It's for like 3 months, and then after the 3 months, there's no point really. The GPU style of FPGAs, they were just like, it's just too complicated, and it was a rig style, and I can't use rig style at the farm. And they have heating problems and programming problems, as in you got to know what you need to do. Whereas the F1, it's obviously not going to be like the ASIC, but it's very similar. Okay, it's been a bit easier now. Really old firmware on there. You've still got two Z9 minis overclock. If they're making money, keep all the Z9 minis. I've not checked if they're still making money. You can try selling them off, because if you try selling them off later, you won't get the price that you're looking at right now. Or you can mine them to the end. Z9 was short lived, was it? I think it still makes money. I'm hoping it still makes money. Well, the Z9 Mini standard is making 60 cents a day. So obviously the overclocked one is going to make more. You got 33 cents. Have I got this set wrong then? Let me set the price again. Oh, you're talking about UK money, 33 pence. Yeah, no, it's not a lot, but that's the problem with A6. Okay, I think that's going to be the last one that I'm going to do now. I'll have to do the rest at the farm. Hello, Bastian Go, if I've said your name correctly. Um, yes, I would recommend the F1, because a new bitstream is coming out soon. It's just like buying a new miner. Every time a new bitstream out. I can give you an invitation code to get a $100 coupon to use towards electricity on cloud hosting or towards your next machine. Thanks. You run the F1 more than 30 days. Is it stable? It's very stable. The only way to make it unstable is if you purposely reduce the fan speed and then they get above 80 degrees Celsius. But you might want to reduce the fan speed if you're mining at home. If you don't want it to be loud, you can set the fan speed to something like 35 to 45% to make it a bit quieter. If not, just leave it at 100%. When it's at 100%, I've not had any issues. I'm not sure how long I've had mine for. It's been more than 30 days and it is stable, and I've uploaded new bit streams on it. I've got a total of 3 F3s. My first order had 2 and the next one had 1. And then I ran out of crypto, so when I get more crypto I can get more machines. I never said F3, did I? I said I got 3 lots of F1s. I might have said it wrong. There's no F3 that I've got. Okay, when you do sell your Z9, make a note of the invitation code if you can. I'm not sure when it will expire. It was meant to expire at Christmas, but because they didn't sell out, they've extended the promotion and it still works right now. If you went for the F1 single, you only get a $50 coupon rather than a $100 coupon. Why do I wear gloves? These are my uniform. Some other YouTubers wear them, so I just copied them. I did start off with these blue nitrile gloves, but these are really crap. They rip very easily. These ones are a bit more tougher. These are the black ones that I've got. Probably made out of the same stuff. It says to avoid 40 degrees Celsius. I've actually touched soldering irons with this and I've not burnt myself. Obviously if I keep hold of it for longer then I would do. So that's the only reason why I have the gloves. There's no medical or anything like that. But saying that, I've got a few people who are going to send me some random stuff in a post. And I've got no idea what they're going to send me. So it might be wise if I did wear gloves. So that's going to be a new series of YouTube videos. I'm going to call it Mystery Box. And that will still be part of the Tech Reload. This is something else that I've got for free, a multimeter. You get all sorts of stuff. Gaming headset, which helps me to record better audio with this microphone when I've got loud machines in the room. So that's really useful. You're going to send me some dog poo. Well, you need to know where I live first. And I don't think you can do that in the UK Post. Or you're not supposed to anyway. Right, does this one work? No, this is a dead power supply. So I'm not going to take this with me. Okay, if there's any more questions, I'm going to end the stream now. So people send you stuff to review or stuff they don't want. People send me stuff to review. So I review them, and then some of the stuff I actually thought I would need. For example, I've got a microphone stand and a pop filter, but because I'm using a gaming headset, which I'm gonna decide to keep, I can get rid of these two now. I sometimes get stuff like this which I have no use. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. A 20-watt security light. It's really good. It's got dimples in the reflector. Oh, you can't go now. I'm going to show you everything that I've got. I've got some invisible markers, which you can see the text using UV light. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream now because I've got to still pack. So goodbye everyone. Or I might wait until... No, I'll end it there.